Hello guys, today we will see y-squared normal form, that is known as BCNF. So BCNF is a strict format of 3NF. So it is a strict format of 3NF, that means it has some additional constant on the 3NF form. That means let's see in 3NF what we see, that the relation, if relation consists that transitivity, that means it is not under the 3NF. So there should not be no transitive functional dependency. So a relation is in BCNF if and only if all the determinants are the candidate keys. It says that all the determinants in that relation and that functional dependencies, so all the determinants should be candidate keys. Let's see. If we have a relation ABC and we have this functional dependency A to B then B to C, that means A and B are the determinant. So A and B should be candidate key of this relation. Then we will say that this relation is under the BCNF form. Okay guys. Now every relation is BCNF is also in 3NF. If a relation in BCNF, that means it is also in 3NF. But relation in 3NF is not necessarily be in BCNF. Okay guys. So we have an example here. We have a relation which contains SID, that is student ID, okay, their values, then course, and then P name, that is a professor name. So we have given the functional dependency from SID, that is student ID. From student ID we can find the course. From professor name we can find the course, and from student ID I can find the professor name. Please try to find this functional dependency on that basis. See what exactly this functional dependency says. From student ID to course, that means only one student can be enrolled in one course, means one student can do only one course. This is if student 1 is there, so then it has enrolled in one course, it will not opt other course. Professor name to course, that means one professor, one course. One professor can teach only one course. If you see that Ashish teaching C++, Amit teaching C, Ashish teaching C++, Amit teaching C, that is the C language teacher is Amit sir and the C++ language teacher is Ashish sir. That means one teacher is can only be teach only one subject. After student ID to P name, that is from student ID I can find the professor name. So because one student can be enrolled in one subject and one subject will be taught by only one professor. So from one student from the value of student ID I can find the professor name. Let's see either it is in BCNF or not. So first of all I will go for the third NF form key, either they are in the 3NF form or not. See how we can find this. For 3NF form we have to first see the candidate key of this one. So the candidate key, let's see who is the candidate key. We will take all the functional dependency attributes left hand side, the course P name, that is the remaining one is SID. So we will find the closure of SID, which is from SID I can find the SID. From SID I can find the course and professor name. Okay, so that means SIDs are primary key, it's a candidate key, and this candidate key, from this candidate I can find all the attributes. But from, let's see for another one, from professor name I cannot find the course. I can find the course but I cannot find the here professor name. Okay, its relationship is not given that. So we will say that this ID, this attribute can uniquely identify the others all attributes tuples. After that, we have to see that transitive relationship here of transitive functional dependency exists here. See, from P, if you write this in this way, let's see, SID to P name and from P name to course. Okay, you will see that from SID to P name, from P name to course, I can find the value of SID to course, but it is already given. P name and the courses are the non-prime key and SID is the prime key. So that means transitivity exists here, but it is already given. If it is already given, that means no transitivity will be taken here. So this relation is under the 3NF form because no transitivity we have evaluated. It is already given. If it is already given, that means it is under 3NF form. Okay guys. So after 3NF form we have to go for the BCNF form. In the BCNF form, we have to check for the lossless join and the other, that is another one, dependency check. Okay. So for the lossless join, what we have to do, we have to apply the three conditions here. First of all, this is our table. Okay. So we will divide first of all it in two table. How? See, this is the non-prime key. Okay. And this is the prime key. This prime key belongs to this one, but there is a non-prime key. So we will separate first it. So we will separate this table relation into two tables, that is R1, which contains SID and the SID, wait a minute, SID and the P name. Okay. Okay. Then after that, there is another relation which is R2, which contains P name and course. If you say why I not choose the course here, because from P name I can find the course. That's why we have not chosen here course, P name from B name. There should be at least one common attribute. After that, we have to go for the lossless join. Okay, so this contains this one. Now we will go for the lossless join. Now first of all, we will find the F closer. Okay. F closer contains this one. This is the relation one. This is the F closer. So from SID to course, SID to P name, and that is P name to course. This is the closure of this F1. Okay. Now we will find the closure of F1 and F2. This is the closure of F. Okay, let's see. Okay guys, actually I am checking for the dependency, okay, preservation. Okay, here I am checking for the dependency preservation first. So for F1, there should be, what is that, SID to P name, which contains, we have to take all the dependencies here, SID to P name. Only it will give SID to P name, nothing else. So this is its closure. Then FIT2 plus, that is SID, for P name to course. F2 closure will give us P name to course. How? Because this belongs only this functional dependency. So we will take only this dependency here, and we cannot find more than from this dependency. Now we will go for the formula, that is, which is equal to F1 union F2. After that, it's complete closure. This is actually the dependency preservation check. Okay, we will go for the remaining one, that is a lossless. For the lossless join, we will see later. First of all, I am checking for this one. See, so I should get all this dependency from this dependency. So this is SID to P name, then P name to course, and so by the transitive relationship I can find the SID to course also. SID to course. Okay, so this is, so from this I can find that this is equal to this one. Okay, so this exists here, that is the dependency preservation is also there. After that, I will go for the lossless join check. Okay, this question comes at least 5 to 7 marks. For the lossless join, we have to follow 3 conditions here. First of all, we will take the union of R1 and R2. Union of R1 and R2 should be equal to R. This condition should be satisfied there. So R1 is SID name, SID, and then the professor name. Okay, and from R2 I will get the course alone, which is equal to R, that is 3-1. Okay, so that means this unions is okay. After that, we will go for the intersection. There should be a common attribute. That means R1 intersection R2 should not be equal to 5. So from R1 and R2, I will get P name. Okay guys, now go for the third one, that is third point. that it should be a prime super key or whatever. So from relation 1 I can see that from SID I can find the P name. Okay, so that is from SID to P name, where SID is a prime key. Okay guys, so it will return me SID here. And from in the this is R1, and for the R2 P name course. Okay guys, so from P name I can find the course uniquely. That means P name is a candidate key or super key, whatever you want to say. Okay, now we have to see that in the last section we have find the P name here, and P name exists here. It should exist in any lesson, does not matter, but it should be exist here. Okay, so P name is here, so we will say that yes, it is a super key part. Okay guys, that means it follows all the looseless join properties. So we will say now that these relations, that this composition R1 and R2 is under the BCNF form. Okay, we have to perform all the functionality. First of all, we have to find the looseless join. After that, we have to find the this dependency preservation property. Okay, if we fail in, first of all we have to find this one at least. If it fails, then there is no need of finding this one, but if it is successful, then we can say we can find for this one. It is not the compulsory one, but we should find if it's pass out. So guys, this is all about the voice chord normal form. In the next video I will take another example with my lecture notes. Then I will discuss what is exactly a voice chord normal form. Then after that we will do the later topics. Okay guys, if my videos are helping you, so please guys follow this video, subscribe the channel. Okay, thank you.